Right, I want to fill my swimming pool with Milo, the actual made up drink, the way you drink it. Except 48,000 litres of it. That looks pretty disturbing. I mean, I could have done an actual useful video about the cost of real estate or something, but no, I'm committed. I'll be upfront with you. I thought this was just going to be a 5-minute video. Work it out on the calculator. Bang, that's how much it cost. But here's the weird part. The Milo isn't even the most expensive part. The thing that actually costs the most money is something you've probably never even thought about. Imagine being able to look this elegant while swimming in brown liquid. Kudos to you, lady. Well done. And look, I know how this sounds. This is a stupid idea, a stupid question, but it does have a real answer. I followed it all the way through. I crunched the numbers. We'll find the cheapest possible way to do it. And at the end, you'll know exactly what happens when you fill a backyard pool with Milo. And it ain't pretty on day 3, let me tell you. That's crunch day. Okay, so the average Australian pool is 8 metres long by 4 metres wide and 1.5 metres deep. So that works out to be 48 cubic metres overall. Thanks for watching. This has been Riveting Pool Trivia. Just kidding. Let's move on. So 48 cubic metres is 48,000 litres. Take a 2-litre bottle of milk out of the fridge and you're going to need 24,000 of those. Right, now the Milo. Nestle's official position on this is 3 teaspoons per 200 mils of milk. That is a weak-ass Milo. If anyone ever makes you a Milo and they give you like 3 teaspoons in 200 mils of milk, then either they're running low on Milo or they can't stand you. They hate you. Let's stick to the official ratio. 3 teaspoons of Milo per little drink. If you scale that up, that's 60 grams per litre of Milo. And then the pool holds 48,000 litres. That's 2,880 kilos of Milo powder. That's nearly 3 tons. That's like 2 family cars. That's 2 Toyota Corollas sitting in your driveway. I don't know what's weirder, buying 2 Toyota Corollas or filling your swimming pool with Milo. No, the Milo pool is weirder. Okay, those are the ingredients. We haven't even bought anything yet. So we'll just pop down to Woolies and buy 3 tons of Milo, shall we? And heads up, this is the part where I want you to watch this whole thing come crashing down on me. Milo comes in a few sizes. There's the little one, the middle one, and the big one that's kind of just sits in the back of the pantry and never gets finished, and you just hand it down to your kids. Here you go, son, here's a little Nestle nest egg for you. It's like an edible family heirloom. So to keep the mass clean, I'm going to use the 1 kilo tin, and partly because I don't want to be doing conversions in my head on camera or off camera or ever. So obviously you need 2,880 1 kilo tins of Milo. So with that much, you're not just buying the Milo in your supermarket, you're buying it in your suburb or maybe your whole town. Hell, you might even have to go on the dark web to get that amount.
We have your 2,000 tins of Milo. And can I also interest you in some human organs today?
No, I'm good. I'll just have the Milo, thanks. Right, so what does legally buying the Milo cost? Milo is roughly $11 a kilo at supermarket shelf price. 2,888 kilos, that's $31,680. You spent 31 grand on chocolate powder. You can no longer afford rent. You're now living homeless in a shelter you made out of Milo tins. Totally worth it. And honestly, that was the video. I had my number, $31,000 to fill your pool with Milo. Oh, ridiculous. You could buy a car for that, blah, blah, blah. Smash the subscribe button. Except I'd been pricing the icing and forgetting about the cake. Because to actually make this the way it has to be made as a liquid, I'm going to need 48,000 litres of milk. I've been acting like the milk's free. And I bet you my Milo tin shelter down at the park that it ain't free. So the 31,000 for tins of Milo is about to stop being the big number. You could be more homeless than you thought after this. You could be double homeless. Yeah, that's a thing now, double homeless. So roughly it's $1.55 a litre to buy milk. 48,000 litres times $1.55 equals $74,400 worth of milk. Now let's put the Milo and the milk number together. The Milo is 31 grand. The milk is 74. The milk is more than double the Milo. I made an entire video about filling your pool with Milo thinking the Milo was going to be the expensive part. It's just the side item. And we need 16,000 bottles of it. 16,000 3-litre bottles? If you laid them end to end, they'd stretch to the moon and back. Okay, I just made that up. I don't think that's true. But it'd be a pretty big ask for your recycling bin that week. So at this volume, forget the bottles. You're going to need a tanker. Milk gets moved around this country in massive trucks. In fact, you're going to need 2 tankers worth of milk to fill your swimming pool. So running total for the cost of the Milo powder and milk so far, $106,000, and we haven't even spent a cent on getting it to your house yet. And I still have to tell you what actually physically happens when you try to mix the two together, because that's where this stops being an expensive problem and starts being a physically impossible one. Combining milk and Milo is kind of like a vegan activist at a Bunnings sausage sizzle. The two just do not mix. So I've got my Milo, I've got my milk, and we mix it together in the pool. You know how you leave that undissolved Milo sludge at the bottom of your glass and then after you're done you eat it with a spoon? I mean, as if we're going to let that amount of perfectly good chocolate go to waste. Not on our watch, right? Unless you have a giant spoon handy, you're not going to be able to mix the Milo properly in your pool. So what you'll end up with is layers. You get a scum of undissolved Milo sitting on the surface that just never gets wet. Under that you get the milk layer, which is kind of like just a disappointing beige colour. And on the floor of your pool, you get everything else. Nearly 3 tons of settled, chunky, muddy Milo. A shin-high layer of wet malted silt just sitting at the bottom of your pool. So let's be honest about what you've built here. It isn't really a pool of Milo. It was never going to be a pool of Milo. What were you even thinking? Who put you onto this idea? Oh, me. Right, sorry. It's a pool of beige milk with a crusty layer on the top, 10 centimetres of sludge on the bottom. And that's on day 1, in the first hour, before anything else has had a chance to go wrong. And things are absolutely about to go wrong. Because we've built all this outdoors in Australia in summer. So it's done. It's in. The 2 milk tankers have left. The Milo delivery truck is gone. Oh, by the way, those 2 little deliveries just cost you $5,700. So let's add that to the total. Now you're standing at the edge of your pool looking down at $111,000 of pure magic. But now the clock starts. Because I've been talking about this like it's an event. It's not an event, it's a situation. And it's going to get significantly worse every single day. And I want to walk you through it. The milk came off a chilled tanker at 4 degrees. It's now sitting uncovered in a concrete hole in a backyard. And concrete holds heat beautifully. By afternoon, the entire volume of liquid is in the low 30s. And milk at 30 degrees isn't really milk anymore. It's the largest yogurt experiment in the Southern Hemisphere. After 3 days, your neighbour hates you and your pool. Maybe they're lactose intolerant, or maybe they're not enjoying the overpowering stench of rotten milk coming from your backyard. I don't know, lactose intolerance makes people do crazy things. In fact, your neighbour is so angry at you that he does absolutely nothing because he's so freaked out about what you did with the pool that he's wondering what else you're capable of. So he just leaves you alone. Problem solved. It's not just the people who notice. The flies start showing up, then the things that eat the flies, then rats. Okay, it's becoming pretty clear that this isn't going to be a sustainable feature for your home. Unfortunately, you can't just pull the plug. I want to be clear, I thought the end of this video would just be, and then you drain it. You can't. Your stormwater drain doesn't go to a treatment plant. It goes to a creek, then a river. And putting milk into a waterway isn't a mess, it's a pollution event. Milk is very rich in organics. Its oxygen demand is way bigger than ordinary sewage. So milk doesn't poison fish, it suffocates them. It takes all the oxygen out of the water. 48,000 litres of milk, 3 tonnes of sugar and cocoa solids into a suburban creek. That is a water pollution offence, and the penalties are in the tens of thousands of dollars. So don't pollute the creeks. Pollute the air with your car. It's free and legal. So you pay someone, a licensed liquid waste contractor with a vacuum tanker. And then there's a fee at the treatment facility, roughly $12,000 for that. So we got to add that to the total. So the final number is in, a grand total of $123,780 to fill your pool with Milo from start to finish. Worth every cent though, right? Right, guys? Anyone? Okay, yes, $123,000 is a house deposit. It's also more than the average Australian earns in a year. But that's only 1 year, and you've got plenty of those, right? Anyway, if you've got $123,000 spare, you're a couple of sangers short of a picnic, my DMs are open, and I'll bring a shovel. Thanks for watching. If you've got any suggestions for things I should crunch the numbers on, let me know in the comments. See you next time.